ladies and gentlemen, it is a privilege to welcome an exceptional individual today whose innovative ideas and dedication have significantly influenced the insurance industry. Let me welcome our mentor for today, Mr. Yashish, co-founder of the India's leading digital insurance company, PolicyBazaar.com, and a leading online market for investment and trading products, PaisaBazaar.com.
First question is from Lata of Kokubus, the company name. So they just want to know what are some cost-effective strategies of integrating technologies like AI, big data, and blockchain in fintech applications to detect fraud and perform a risk analysis. So I think fraud and risk is something which is the prime target for most of the fintech products. So what should these early stage startups do?
Yeah. See, for 99% of companies in the world, AI will be and should be a commodity. There will be 1% of companies in the world that would be creating AI, like today OpenAI is doing, or some other people are doing, right? Eventually, you have to know, are you a creator of AI or are you a user of AI? So when I talk about someone like PolicyBazaar, we are a user of AI. The moment that happens and you are comfortable with that situation, then as far as you are concerned, AI is a commodity which you will leverage every possible platform that is being developed in terms of its efficiency and in terms of its cost and in terms of how good it is, right? And so when you talk about risk assessment, let's take a few examples. Let's talk about car, right? When you take on a car, we do something called a video inspection of the car. And what does that video inspection do? It checks if there are dents, if there are scratches, if there are cracks in the glass or mirrors or in the lights. So once more, this technology is commodity. And I think I'm using the word commodity again and again. It's not to demean it, but it's to explain that that is not where the innovation is. The innovation goes with the flow. Who has the customers? And so for a company like PolicyBazaar, usually it would say, okay, the choice is, do I use an external vendor or do I do it myself? And we as a company veer towards doing it ourselves because the base underlying technology that's being leveraged is essentially commodity, right? Because most of the other vendors are also using that commodity technology to prepare some kind of application on top of it. And the application on top of it does not really have value without the flow of customers, right? So many times what happens is you create an application on top of the base technology, but you don't have any customers. And you hope to be able to attract customers. That's too expensive. Or you hope to tie up with somebody to leverage that. You have to be very careful while building those businesses because eventually the power lies with only two people there, the people with the base technology and the person who owns the consumer flow. Now, if I talk about some other areas, like, and that would also apply to claims. When the claims come in, we also have a similar video inspection that happens online. If I talk about life insurance or health insurance, there's lots and lots of cases that come in. We have the last 17 years of claims data. You would have lots of inputs coming in. You would have voice recordings. You would have video recordings. You have voice and video matching to check that the same person whose documents and video are matching was the same person who was there during the buying part of the journey as well. We would have geolocation to see if this person is based where they say they are based. You would also do health checks through video to see if their health condition broadly matches the condition they are saying they are in. Does their age actually match the age they are saying they are? Right? And there are lots, once more, there are lots and lots of technologies today available as a base layer, mostly American or Chinese, uh, that can be leveraged. Now, if somebody builds a base layer technology, then we are very keen to partner with it. But if it's an app on another technology, then we would rather build it. It might be sometimes slower. It might take us 2 months. But see, because building an app does not take more than a couple of months. So we might be slower by a couple of months, but the world is not running away, right? And so we would rather build it ourselves and thus control our destiny in that regard. When we talk about life, again, similar stuff. We track a lot of fraud. We track a lot of misdisclosure through various technologies that are embedded into the system. And this is used on a continuous basis. And a lot of this, when we say AI, it is fuzzy logic basis past data over the last 16, 17 years of data. So what we bring to the table is both the data as well as the current customer flow. And so that helps us somewhere, leverage these technologies. As we talk about efficiency in our operations, we again have a lot of utilization in the contact center. It is not just limited to routing technologies and connecting the customer with the best person to serve them at this moment, but it is also linked to summarization services, prompts, looking at risk and prompting in a live conversation. So, as I said, the way we think about it, we think of technology as the commodity which has to serve the business need. But we don't see the base layer of technology as the commodity. So if somebody can develop that, then we are very keen to discuss with them.
Right. So the threats coming from the technology need to be handled with the technology itself. Right.
Yeah.
So we have another question coming from Arun of ReadyNet Innovations. As a startup, while building data-intensive business models, how do we ensure the creation of robust data security architecture? And how do startups prepare themselves for the upcoming data privacy law? So I think this is a very common red flag which many of our startups get, those who are handling large amount of data, that how do you keep the data secure? So what's your view on this?
So see, the way someone like me approaches it, we hire a good CISO, Customer Information Security Officer, and make sure they know their job and they have done it at a decent organization to be able to handle it. They are the ones who interface with all the service providers. And on top of that, someone like us would ensure there are regular formal audits and informal hacking kind of mechanism set up, both internal tests. So someone like us will also run reward programs internally, because our belief is our employees know our systems best, and mostly the attack on data is internal. And so if we create a significant enough reward, somebody internally should be able to point out to flaws which have gone undetected by the various audits. And there is always a way to hack into any system. Nobody can say that the system is hack proof, right? So it's about staying one step ahead. And we get a lot of intelligence. So far, the maximum intelligence we've ever derived is from internal contests, which pay rewards for breaking the system. Yeah, I guess that's what it is.
Right. Thank you.
In terms of data privacy, see, we have to always have a very simple rule. Who does the data belong to? Data belongs to the customer, and thus everything must be done with the customer's consent, right? If some entity believes the data belongs to them, then that's their problem. We don't believe any data belongs to us. Either data belongs to the customer or the data belongs to the platform, to the provider. We are only getting access to the data basis permission either from the customer or from the supplier. It's just a simple approach. Then
on a similar lines, Yashish, we have another question from Vikram Lair from Intri Private Limited. They have a question like how can a startup can collaborate with authorities, and access government databases to refine their product applications, and train their IA models, like similar to like how Policy Bazaar access the data of a customer when he enters the mobile number or names something.
So I think there are lots of known government data places to which you can have access in a regulated, unregulated manner. Increasingly, you will find these will be regulated because you are getting access to some data which belongs to the government, which essentially belongs to the customer, and the government is the custodian of that data. And I guess you have to, leverage it in that format. We ourselves do quite a bit of it, whether it is the credit score data, whether it's the account aggregator data, whether it's the Vahan data, whether it is the, whether it is the IIB data. And we have to do that in a regulated manner and through regulated channels. I think be extremely careful there. You don't want to fall foul of the law by trying to access data through some unsecured means or incorrect means. That may seem like a short-term win, but will definitely be a long-term loss for you.
They have to avoid the third-party data which are not.
I think if you want to build an organization of repute, it's best to stay clear of that, because that will come to bite you one day, because this government is at least quite serious about customer data.